third night in the hill house was colder than the last. Wind howling through the trees like an old ghost, finally remembering it was lonely. Inside, the fire crackled in the living room, casting gold shadows across the walls. Jungkook sat in the front of his monitor, fingers flying across his keyboard. His game was finally loading its first playable scene, an abandoned city with player-designed consequence. Every pixel felt like a piece of his soul coded into existence. Across the room, Taehyung lounged on the floor with his back against the couch, sketchbook open on his lap. His pencil scratched quietly as he drafted another design, a long line code inspired by city skyline, jagged and dramatic. The silence between them was soft, companionable. That is until Jungkook cursed under his breath. Glitched again, yeah, NPC behavior bugging out, keep looping the death animation. Maybe it's haunted. Jungkook side-eyed him, not helping. I can try debugging the AI pathing Taehyung offered casually, not even looking up, code. Babe, Taehyung smirked. I could build up a tracking virus out of an alarm clock and a calculator. Jungkook snorted against his will. Alright, hacker, let's see if you can fix it. Taehyung jumped up, dropped beside Jungkook, and within a minute had his finger flying over the keys. He muttered curses the whole time, musting of sets and brilliance. Boom, he said 10 minutes later, pointing. Fixed your haunted NPC. Jungkook blinked. How did you? You had a logic loop in the conditional basic mistake, Kyoto. Jungkook should have been annoyed. Instead, he laughed. You are dangerous, he said softly. Then he winked. I know. Later, when the fire burned low and their screen glowed dimly in the dark, they finally drifted to bed, separated room, separate words, until the screaming started. Jungkook jolted away. His heart pounding. It took him a second to realize it was not in the game, it was real. He ran toward the sound, burst into Taehyung's room. Taehyung was thrashing on the bed, sweat soaked and gasping, sheets twisted around him. Taehyung rushed to him, hands grabbing his shoulders. Back up, it's okay, it's not real. Taehyung's eyes snapped open wide and panicked. For a second, he didn't recognize anything. Then he blinked and stared at Jungkook. His voice cracked when he spoke. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Shh. Jungkook pulled him into a sitting position, arms still around him. It's okay, you were dreaming. Taehyung shook his head, fist clenching. Jungkook shrugged. I dreamed they left me again, just walked out and never came back. I kept calling, but no one turned around. His voice broke. Jungkook didn't say anything. He didn't need to. He just held him tighter. You ever get used to it? Taehyung whispered, being unwanted. Jungkook swallowed hard. No, we just learn how to build walls so no one can see it. They said like that for a long time. Taehyung's skin cold around them, now warm and shaken. The search fear and bitter heartbreak. Jungkook's skin wrapped around it, instantly steady and guarding without either of them meaning to let it. Taehyung eventually pulled back, wiping his face and scoffing that this was not in your alpha survival guide. Jungkook gave him a tired, crooked smile. No, but I would take crying Omega over a glitchy code any day. Taehyung rolled his eyes. You are such a liar. You are not alone anymore. Jungkook said softly, dead serious. Now you have me. Taehyung looked at him, really looked. His lip parted like he wanted to say something, but the word caught in his throat. He nodded instead, and Jungkook, still sitting beside him, didn't leave. When the night finally calmed, Taehyung curled up again, but this time Jungkook stayed sitting on the floor, back against the bed, keeping silent watch just in case the ghost came back. A week passed like a quiet storm. Routine bound laughter echoed through the walls, and the strange comfort of shared silence grew into something neither of them wanted to name. Taehyung had claimed the living room as his design studio. Jungkook didn't complain even when pins ended up in the couch cushions or fabric scrap tangled in the wheels of his chair. He actually kind of liked it. The mess made the house feel alive, but Taehyung was getting restless. I need people, he declared one morning, striking a dramatic pose with a half-finished scarf wrapped around his neck, or at least new fabric and double and civilization. Jungkook glanced up from his laptop. There is a small town about 20 minutes downhill. Market days today. Taehyung's eyes lit up. We are going. You are not staying here like some cryptic developer. Come on, Alpha Boy, let's go flirt with a stranger and buy things we don't need. Jungkook rolled his eyes but grabbed his horse. The town was small, quaint, and suspiciously scenic. Farmers sold vegetables under strip tent. Old women gossiped by the bakery, and somewhere nearby someone played acoustic guitar. Taehyung was in his element. He danced between stalls, chatting with vendors, trying on sunglasses, laughing too loud, and flirting just enough to get free samples. Jungkook watched from a few feet behind, arm crossed, gaze unreadable. At one point, Taehyung leaned across the table to examine a bolt of silk. A tall beta guy behind the booth smiled at him, leaning in closer. Beautiful fabric, the guy said. Gorgeous, Taehyung agreed, eyeing it. I mean to you, the vendor added with a slow smile. Taehyung blinked, caught off guard, then smirked. Flattery won't get you my number, worth a shot. Jungkook didn't say a word, but suddenly he was standing at Taehyung's side, just a little too close, a calm pressure in the air. The beta looked up at him, visibly tensing. Jungkook didn't do anything, didn't crawl, didn't posture. He just looked, and whatever the vendor saw in his eyes was enough to make him back off. Then he looked at Jungkook with a raised brow. That was subtle. Didn't like his energy. Jungkook muttered, grabbing the silk and dropping cash on the table. Let's go. They walked in silence for a bit. Then Taehyung said, "You were jealous." Then gave him a sidelong glance. No, oh baby, you were practically pissing treachery. I don't do jealousy. Sure, that's why you paid for my fabric and looked at that poor beta like you were calculating his death. Jungkook exhaled, frustrated. He was flirting. It was annoying. You are always annoying. Jungkook stopped walking, turned to face him. He wasn't worthy of your attention. Taehyung blinked, then amusement of his face faded.